4 on the clock. Pecan, 2 seconds. Pecan for the lead. Got it! He got the record at the buzzer! The bridge breaks for 3. Buried! Gallagher pulls up. Gallagher rims it out to Shields! Slams it down! Cooley up ahead. Dombrowski, the freshman, off the window and 1. Go back to Evans, corner 3, got it! There's Rowe with the exclamation point! As Dunny slams it down! Far side, Dawson unloads, knocks it home! Jenna Dawson! By Teslovich, Epps puts it on the floor. Rice looks to drive in, Epps floats it up, got it! He got it! There's 1,000 for Bryce Epps! It's a picturesque Friday night in October for section football here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. The Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, the Connellsville Falcons here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network this evening. As Thomas Jefferson, it's simple, win out and win another section championship. Connellsville trying to continue what has been their best season in recent memory here this evening. Alex Lyons, Liam Bellin with you for all the action here this evening on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And what is the penultimate Friday of the regular season as Connellsville enters play 2-6, 1-3 overall. And the Jaguars, led by 27th year head coach Bill Chirpak, come in 5-3, 3-1. And you say that in a regular season, 5-3. Thomas Jefferson, 3 losses so far in the regular season. It's been a long time, but they still have the opportunity as a section title if they win out here tonight against Connellsville and get a big road win against McKeesport next Friday.
Yeah, they have a big chance, like you said, obviously a daunting task ahead if you talk about trying to get a victory against McKeesport this season. But looking at this game here this week, like you said, Connellsville having a stellar season compared to the last couple of years that have been a bit of a struggle for them. As for the Jaguars, good shot here tonight at home in front of their home crowd to keep this momentum going. Like you said, not the best season, typically what you're expecting the last couple of years from this Jaguars team and really under Chirpak's entire tenure. But you're still, at the end of the day, fighting for a shot at conference championship, and that's all you could ask for.
Yeah, Penn West California pregame show here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. 297 wins here at Thomas Jefferson for Coach Chirpak, so just 3 wins away and a nice playoff run in a season that ends with a section championship. You easily could see the 27th year bench boss hit that 300-win plateau for his career. Thomas Jefferson also as a school just 6 wins away from 500 wins as a football program. But 27 straight playoff appearances. That's tied for first overall with the 4A favorites in Aliquippa. But this is a team that has not had 3 regular season losses since 2011. They have that this year, of course, 1 out of state, then 1 to Bell Vernon, possibly the 3A favorite still, as they'll have a huge matchup with EF next week, and then a loss, an unexpected loss to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs on the road. But, last time TJ had these 3-loss regular season was also the last time they had a total of 4 losses in a season as they lost to Plum in the quarterfinals. And that is the only 3-loss regular season before this year since 2003. But, you always got to look at the positive side. Obviously, Thomas Jefferson still a chance at a section title, but last time they had a 3-loss regular season, that started a string of 10 straight WPIAL semifinal appearances, which they could make 11 still this year. As long as you get into the playoffs, that's all that matters, and Thomas Jefferson definitely will be there this season.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The Jaguars, like you said, the last trying to make that streak 11 now. I mean, it'd be a stellar run, obviously, and you know what you're going to get from a team coached by Bill Chirpak. At the end of the day, 3 losses. You look top to bottom at this schedule. Bell Vernon's a very tough team. It was a rivalry game, a tough loss. And you go back to week 0, you play a state champion in New Jersey, and talk about a powerhouse that they played. There's another loss. The Laurel Highlands one, obviously unexpected. But, again, you take a look, and it's not any bad performances. It's not any bad losses necessarily. Here and there, Chirpak was saying they're just allowing too many big plays, especially in New Jersey, especially against Bell Vernon. Just a few plays there because we were here for that game. TJ dictated a lot of that football game, but came out on the wrong side of things. So, the 3 losses can be a lot, and you can pull out the statistics, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world for this team. And you watch them play, and you see why they're going to be a team to be reckoned with once again when it comes to the playoffs. No one wants to see Thomas Jefferson when it comes to playoff time in a single elimination, lose and go home situation. No one wants to see the Jaguars.
No, it's a been there, done that, battle-tested team. And, again, the loss to Millville, you throw out the window. Bell Vernon, those are battles every single year, and it's a game, as you said, TJ probably should have won. I mean, they just could not finish in that game, and big plays for Bell Vernon, fumble recovery on the TJ 20, 95-yard punt return by Martin, and that was the 2 big plays that we had in that entire contest. As besides that, TJ was absolutely outstanding, and it's a team that I think can give McKeesport a run for their money and give them a chance at that first loss of the season next week, but it will be a tall task against Bobby Boyd and company, who are coming off a big win versus Gateway. As we'll take a break for the national anthem and come back and get you ready for this one right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Bring together expert faculty, offer programs in high-demand fields, add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Back here from Thomas Jefferson High School as we near the start of the Jaguars and the Falcons here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Not a lot of meetings between these two schools in recent past history, just 2 to be exact that I could find since 2003. A 2019 61-7 win for the Jaguars and a 2018 56-14 Thomas Jefferson win at Connellsville. As looking into this one between these two squads, Thomas Jefferson still, when you look at statistically, right there with one of the best inside the classification, scoring in points per game and points against average, as the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, of course, will be led by their junior quarterback, Brody Evans, here tonight, as Evans, 1,500 passing yards on the season, 15 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. And then, of course, on the ground game, a pair of running backs. But, Liam, we've seen, Thomas Jefferson once before this year, even though they like to split up Whalen and Lippincott. Elias Lippincott has been the more effective body this year, and his numbers say so as well. 121 carries, 599 yards versus 73 for 349, but both backs can cause a problem for this Connellsville defense, who prides themselves on their front four, who's going to have a tall task here tonight.
Yeah, for TJ, I think it's about the guys up front, obviously, opening things up on both sides of the football, getting after the quarterback and opening up that run game for, like you said, Lippincott and Aiden Wallen as well. So, you go with either back, you're going to get kind of a different flavor. Lippincott definitely a bruiser. On the other hand, Wallen can kind of be a change of pace sort of back, and they complement each other really well. Like you said, we've seen Lippincott leaned on more for the most part, but it was Wallen who got the majority of carries in the first quarter against Bell Vernon earlier in the season. So really it's kind of the hot hand. It's kind of whoever is able to keep the other one fresh, really. And, they, like I said, they complement each other really well, and they're a great duo, a great committee to have for the Jaguars.
Yeah, last time we saw this Jaguar squad, we didn't get to see a ton of their number one threat on the outside. We talked about the backs, but they have a great wide receiver as well, and that's in the junior Sean Sullivan. Over 600 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns on the season. He was locked up pretty tightly by the Power 5-star recruit in Quentin Martin in that first meeting. See if he has better luck on the outside, but you have still a pretty stout defensive backfield with Capone Mickens, Javon McBride, and, of course, the returning all-conference junior quarterback and Ethan Schultz.
Yeah, absolutely right. So when it comes to this Connellsville team, obviously, they've got their weapons. It's all about really trying to clean up the simple things, I think, for this Falcons squad. Oftentimes just simple mistakes really can cost them a lot. You look at their line, like you said, that's a team that prides themselves on that defensive front, and offensive line has to be sturdy as well against the Jaguars front that's going to be physical, going to get in your face. Obviously, you have a Power 5 recruit that you have to watch out for, and Jordan Mayers. So, it's going to be a tough one here tonight for the Falcons to hang on, but we'll see how they fare.
As we get set for the opening kickoff, as the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars defer, so Connellsville will get the ball to get us underway here this evening as Andy Graham tees it up for the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars as we get set for the penultimate game of the season here on senior night from Thomas Jefferson, as Graham puts foot to rubber, and we are underway as this one's fielded near side hash. Cutting that way is Jaden McBride. McBride shifty, trying to make Wallen miss, and he's wrapped down short of the 30 at the 29-yard line, and that's where the Connellsville Falcons offense will set up. As Whalen the stop. As Anthony Piezecki, the junior quarterback, second-year signal caller under center to start. Split backfield, man in motion. That's Capone Mickens. Handoff goes to Mickens, and he's going nowhere as he stood up at the line of scrimmage by the TJ front four. Ryan Brown, Tyler Gallus, Crew Hartwell, along with Spencer Schaefer and Tucker Bloom, left to right on the offensive line for the 3 bench bosses of the Connellsville Falcons. Chad Lembo, Jace McLean, and Mick Lilly. As Florian stirring the pot there on first down. Second down and 10 here for the Falcons. Man in motion. Pitch that way. That's to Jaden McBride. Tries to get the edge, and he's taken down for a 4-yard loss in the backfield.
Yeah, so that first run there, unable to find success inside the tackles. There you try and pitch, get McBride outside, and stood up there emphatically.
Jordan Mayer went across the pattern there. Great play by Mayer. Started on the left side, rotated all the way to the right to make that stop. And it's going to be 3rd down and 13, ball at the 26. Under center, Piasecki, 2 receivers set, 3-man backfield. Piasecki fakes the handoff, bootleg rollout, going deep near side, and he underthrows his man, but a flag thrown on Sean Sullivan as he was covering Taylon Barrett. As Taylon Barrett kind of never got his head around, and the flag came out right at the end there.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. Barrett, the ball was thrown. He had no idea that the ball was coming. It looked like he's looking back, trying to find the football, and then they get Sullivan on a defensive penalty.
So the defensive holding should indeed mean a 1st down here for the Falcons from Connellsville. As no, actually make it 3rd down and 3. So the 3rd and 13 play for Nod under center. Piasecki sends a man in motion, shuffling across, handoff deep back up the middle, breaks the first wave of defense over the 40, and it's a 1st down. Connellsville out to the 41-yard line, so the penalty does indeed prove costly as Bruce Giles picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, that's a brutal break there as Sullivan was confused about the flag. It really was just a bizarre kind of call that he ended up giving up 10 yards, and now Connellsville able to keep this drive going.
First and 10, ball on the 41, 10 minutes rolling clock. Piasecki looks to throw, pressure coming, now rolls out near side hash, throws it to the boundary, nobody home. Closest man in the vicinity was Ryan Lowry, the senior. As the defensive pressure from the middle proves costly as Peyton Kruger was busting through and wreaking havoc in the Falcon backfield. 2nd and 10 here for Connellsville.
And that's what TJ always wants to do. Really good push there and forced Piasecki out. Didn't really have many options there, just kind of threw it into the dirt.
TJ defense has forced 10 turnovers in 8 games so far this season. 2nd and 10, Piasecki sends a man in motion, fakes the pitch, now takes it himself, and he meets the Thomas Jefferson front 4 again. As Piasecki going nowhere. As Kruger again, along with some help from Nick Florian off the edge. Going to be 3rd down and 11 is behind the chains once again as Connellsville. Thomas Jefferson cannot afford to bail out the Falcons once more.
Yeah, Jaguars in a good spot once again. Like you said, don't need any defensive penalties. Try and get off the field and get their offense on the field for the first time here tonight.
As Piasecki swings near side, is trying to make a man miss, as bouncing towards the 49-yard line was Capone Mickens, short of the line to gain, as it's at the 49 of the Falcons, as they will send out Benjamin Zavanchin to do the honors, the senior, to punt.
Nice tackle there in the open field to make sure that Mickens was just short, unable to convert and keep this drive going. So now see what Brody Evans and the Jaguars offense can do.
As Zavanchin, a spiraling punt fielded at the 19, as cutting near side, that's Ryan Lowry. As he's flipped down on the near side, make that Sean Sullivan on the return, but nonetheless stopped down by Sanzone. As 14 yards on the return for Sean Sullivan. Ball lies on the Falcon 33. And, everyone's thinking, the Soul Section title, Liam. Technically, McKeesport is the only team that can get the Soul Section title. A win next week, and if Laurel Highlands wins out as well, because they lost to McKeesport, they beat TJ, and if TJ beats McKeesport, that would technically give you the 3-way tie atop of the conference standings. Talks more about that a little bit later on as Evans hands it off. Whalen right side, and Whalen spun down for a loss of 1 as off the edge. for the Falcons was Glenn Strickler.
Yeah, great job there by Strickler. Oftentimes with these teams, that's what it's all about, getting that push, and they're a really good job. First one to the football, able to beat his man and bottle that up before Whalen had any chance.
TJ wearing their alternate jerseys here on senior night. Black numbers, black jerseys, yellow trim all around, an announcer's dream. Easy to read, I formation, Evans under center. Jordan Mayer in motion, Evans looks to pass. Deep drop, Evans fires out. There's Jordan Mayer, hauls it in over the 45. Mayer keeps rumbling down to the 46-yard line. As first pass goes for 10 plus to Jordan Mayer out beyond the 45 to the 46. 15th reception on the year for Mayer.
I was going to say, I think that's something that we've seen kind of grow from him. A lot of times you're expecting him as a defensive line recruit to kind of set up as a tight end and try and throw some blocks here and there, maybe run a few routes. But he's done a good thing in the passing game.
Evans goes right back to Mayer. First down and more as Mayer cuts down the near hash over the 40. And that's where he's stopped up by the secondary of Ethan Schultz on the Falcons. But Jordan Mayer, kind of that safety blanket in the middle of the field, and it's been easy pitch and catch as back-to-back 14-yard passes to Mayer.
Yeah, you take into account his size and everything at 6'4", I believe. It's just really tough to bring down, obviously, and an easy target, like you said. He's got sure hands. Why not use it?
I think we've seen about 7 of his 16 targets now this year. As Whalen off and running as he bursts through. As give Whalen 14 yards. So 14 after a negative play. Thomas Jefferson knocking off huge chunks of yardage here. As there goes Whalen with his first big carry of the evening. And really, Liam, if you've noticed this, it's almost a 3-player change in and out every set of downs so far for the Jaguars here this evening. Evans in the gun, Whalen flanking him to his left. Twin receivers each side. Evans gets the snap from Florian, handoff up the middle. Whalen off and running. One man to beat down to the goal line, and he stopped a yard shy. Aiden Whalen, 26 yards to the 1.
Great burst there from Whalen. He got that and got downhill fast. Good job by Connellsville to prevent him at the last second there from stretching and reaching the goal line, because he was short by just a little bit. So, it's less than a yard now, it looks like.
6'4", 200-pound junior quarterback Brody Evans. Do they let Evans call his own number? I formation. As up the middle they go. Touchdown, Thomas Jefferson. Yes, indeed. As the Jaguars get on the board first. A 1-yard touchdown run by Thomas Jefferson. As looks like Whalen got the carry there for the 1-yard score, as Graham fires it up and fires it through. 32 for 32 on the season for the senior Andy Graham. And it's a 7-0 lead here for Thomas Jefferson in the first.
So overall, a pretty solid opening drive for the Jaguars. Obviously, big chunk plays. You've got the back-to-back receptions from Mayer, 14 yards. You've got Aiden Whalen doing a good job on the ground. He eventually punches it in for the first touchdown here of the night. And you couldn't have asked for a better start to this game if you're TJ. Defensively, you get the stop. Give up a penalty defensively on Sullivan that allows them, Connellsville, to move the chains once. But after that, you shut it down once again. Nice return from Sullivan on the punt, gets you a few yards, and then from there, offensively, you march right down the field, exactly what you want.
Whalen, 30 yards rushing on that drive on 3 carries, went in for 6. as Andy Graham gets set to send his second kickoff away here this evening. Right foot Graham drive out towards the far side 10-yard line, and that's where the Falcons look to return it. As Barrett pops it up the far side hash, and he's going to be shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So with 6:20 remaining here in the opening quarter, ball on the Connellsville 24-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Falcons. As 2 14-yard receptions to Mayer, a 14-yard run by Whalen, then a 26-yard run by Whalen, leading to the touchdown for the Jaguars. This handoff on the misdirection near side, and another TFL for the defensive line of the Jaguars as a late flag comes in. As looking for it there was Bruce Giles, who maybe got thrown down a little late. As Spencer Schaefer trying to calm down the junior tailback. As Jordan Mayer picks up the personal foul for Thomas Jefferson.
Big concerning there early on. That's the second big defensive penalty for the Jaguars. So, just things that they have to clean up early on.
So make it 1st down and 10 for Connellsville as near side Barrett. Stacked backfield once again, deep back Bruce Giles, man in motion, that's Jaden McBride. Handoff, that goes nowhere up the middle as Bruce Giles met again by the front four of the Jaguar defense. That time it's Elias Lippincott. As Elias Lippincott giving Giles no room to work. So one of those changes we've seen off the course of the year for Thomas Jefferson is Elias Lippincott moving to the defensive line for the Jaguars. Of course, Elias Lippincott has a twin sister, Thomas Jefferson. Part of the Jaguar volleyball team as pressure off the edge. Piasecki finds his man out of the backfield. It's Capone Mickens over the midfield, striping out at the 33-yard line. As the quick hitter and too much room to run for Capone Mickens.
Yeah, that was a good job there. It looked like the Jaguars were going to get after Piasecki off the edge, but that wheel route there from Mickens ended up getting open, and nice throw, too. Found him in stride, allowed him to get some yards after the catch there. So best play so far offensively from Connellsville here tonight.
31-yard pitching catch by Piasecki under center. Capone Mickens in motion. Piasecki looks to throw. Pressure coming, breaks the sack of Mayer. Near side, and down he goes. A huge loss is off the edge, and knocking him down was Janusek.
So again, the Jaguars able to get after Piasecki once again.
5-yard loss. Janusek and Matt Martinez are the two teaming up as whistle blows and a timeout called by the Jaguars from Thomas Jefferson. 7-0 lead here for Thomas Jefferson as they control thanks to chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. But right now, they got to find a way to clean things up, Liam. Early pass interference penalty. Then you have the personal foul after a negative play, which led to that big 31-yard reception by Capone Mickens. They've dominated the middle of the line of scrimmage, but it's been a sloppy start for the Jaguars.
Yeah, it sure has, and just disciplinary things. Obviously, those are going to want to be fixed pretty soon with Chirpak. I'm sure taking this time out to kind of calm everyone down and just kind of have a word with his guys, because at the end of the day, you've got the lead, and you had a very good opening drive offensively, but.
And I think one thing you look at too, this is a tune-up game. This is your dress rehearsal. It's supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to get you ready, because next week there's no room for errors if you're Thomas Jefferson. You give free yards to McKeesport, you're behind early. As once again, Piasecki behind the line of scrimmage, knocked down for another loss. as the Jaguars stacking up TFLs here this evening. As once again, it's Elias Lippincott. Haven't seen him offensively, but he's made his name known on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Lippincott went untouched there and ended up with the sack. So good job. Like you said, kind of moved the defensive line. And right now he's early on in this contest. He's having a very good night.
6'2", 220 junior. Too fast for the outside tackle. As a pitch goes, Capone Mickens cuts near side, changes direction, and 3 straight plays for negative yards. As in the backfield, the Jaguars, Jordan Mayer introduces himself to the junior Capone Mickens. And it's 4th and 21 from the 47. So after a 31-yard gain, 3 straight negative plays for minus 14 yards.
Yeah, great response from the Jaguars. Exactly what you'd want out of them. You know, took that time out, and I think this is exactly what they wanted. Now they're going to get the ball back and chance to add to their lead.
As sent away, as picked up around the 15. There's Waylon, far side over the 30. Flag flies as he hits the 40, and another one comes in late as Waylon out to the 44-yard line, but this one most likely going to head back as in the vicinity of holding and blocking the back.
Yeah, we'll see what this one is, but good job by Waylon. He's having a stellar outing early on. Getting downhill, finding a lot of space, especially on that return, and blocking the back is going to bring this one way back. So
as they'll mark it off from the 30, so that will put the ball at the 20-yard line. It will be 1st down and 10, Thomas Jefferson from their own 20. After a negative play to start on their opening drive, it was 2 14-yard passes to Jordan Mayer, a 14-yard run by Waylon, a 26-yard run by Waylon leading to the 1-yard score. 3:08 remaining. As one thing also, Liam, I think we've noticed in that opening drive, Thomas Jefferson lined up with some shotgun snaps for some decent plays. This time under center is Evans. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Evans quick out on the wide receiver screen. It's Lowry, gets the edge. Lowry cuts up towards the 30, and he's knocked down at the 29-yard line as pushing him out for Connellsville was Benjamin Metzger.
yeah, I like that design there. Like you said, just a quick hitter. Get Lowry in some space. He's another guy, another weapon at Evans' disposal, and he always does well with the football. So get him into some space, get guys blocking for him, and 9 yards there. You always take that on 1st down.
I formation, Evans under center. As a whistle blows, as Lippincott was dotting the I there, and Thomas Jefferson, 2nd time out of the opening quarter with 3:02 remaining. We've seen Thomas Jefferson, again, this is our only 2nd time seeing them, but we've seen them struggle with clock management at courses this year, which, you know, I find very surprising, you know, under a head coach as accoladed and honored as Bill Chirpek. You know, when you have new bodies and a lot of new faces, even when you're this late in the season, sometimes things aren't clicking.
Yeah, but regardless for the Jaguars, like you said, if you're thinking about this game ahead of a contest with McKeesport, need to clean these things up. So we'll see how the Jaguars fare the rest of the half with only 1 timeout. Still 3 minutes remaining in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, 7-0 they lead. They face a 2nd down and 1. Ball lies on the TJ 29. Lippincott dotting the I. First man is John Janusek. As Mayer lines up near side by himself, it's Lowry and Sullivan on the far side. Evans under center. Man in motion, that's Sullivan. Florian gives the snap, fakes the handoff, looking to go up top, is across the middle, it's Mayer again! Jordan Mayer pushing towards the 45. It takes a host of Falcons to bring him down there, as once again Mayer from Evans. From the 29 to the 45.
Yeah, 16-yard gain there for Mayer. He's doing a really good job early on here. Like you said, I feel like we've seen the majority of his work through the air, but great hands, and you see there it's tough for 3 or 4 guys to take him down, so you might as well use him as a safety valve.
As handoff, Lippincott, first carry, is it gonna go? Elias down the sideline, 1 man to beat, cuts inside, see you later, touchdown, Elias Lippincott. 55 yards to the house, 1 touch is all he needs. It's 13-0 Thomas Jefferson.
Again, just at the point of attack, TJ winning on the offensive line, doing a great job. It was Whalen on the last drive with all kinds of green grass to take in there. Lippincott the same thing, 55 yards to the house, just had to beat 1 guy, did so. Fantastic job from those guys up front for TJ. Coach Cherpak always raves about his guys up front, offensively, defensively, and right now they're dictating a game once again.
Andy Graham finishes off the drive with the extra point. A drive that would go 80 yards for Thomas Jefferson on just 3 total plays. A quick hitter to Lowry. Then it was 16 from Evans to Mayer and 55 from Elias Lippincott as the drive would go just 52 seconds. 14-0 TJ leads. Thomas Jefferson third in the Big 7 conference coming in. 29 points per game, 17.9 against. While Connellsville, they're giving up 36.1. And Thomas Jefferson flexing their offensive muscles early on. It's just been some sloppy plays defensively that kind of has helped Connellsville move the ball in this contest. As Andy Graham has it teed up once again, the senior. Right foot far side as that one makes its way to Barrett from the goal line. Barrett up the far side. Hash now tries to break outside the numbers, and he stopped shy of the 25 as they'll haul him down at the 20-yard line as a host of Jaguars will stop Barrett. Worst starting field position for Connellsville this evening. It's got worse every possession, 29, 24, and now their own 20 with 2:10 remaining. From the 2 to the 20 on the return as Connellsville trying to get something going offensively, led by their junior quarterback, Anthony Pizecki. Pizecki, second-year starter again. He replaced Gage Gillott as the signal caller. Of course, Gage Gillott much more for his prowess on the baseball diamond. Pizecki looks to throw, tries to drop one near side and almost intercepted. As getting his hands on it, running under it was Ryan Lowry. As well out of the reach of Jada McBride, the intended target. It's kind of almost like a goal line type play you're used to seeing, those fades to the corner trying it in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It did look like a kind of a desperation throw because Pizecki got crushed after the play there, or right after the throw, I should say legally, but he took a hit there, so that was a tough one. It didn't seem like he had full control of where that was going.
Pressure coming up the middle, and down he goes again. Another TFL for the TJ defense. As it looked like Nick Florian broke through. As Kruger stirring the pot as well. 3rd down and 16 now here for the Falcons. Thomas Jefferson looking for their first 3 and out defensively here this evening. Man in motion, McBride across the formation. Pizecki under center. Pizecki, handoff up the middle, trying to get something, and they won't even get back to the initial line of scrimmage on a gain of 3 on 3rd down and 16, as it will be 4th down for the Falcons and another punt upcoming. 4th and 13 is going nowhere, was the Falcons on that drive.
Yeah, great job by TJ. Once again, defensively, they're winning up front. And Pizecki back there, no time to throw. It's causing a lot of trouble for this offense. See if the Falcons can figure something out before this could potentially get out of hand.
Short punt with a Falcon roll down by Schultz here at the 49-yard line of the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. 26 seconds on the clock here for Thomas Jefferson. 35-yard punt laid down by Benjamin Zavanchin, the senior. As actually they're going to mark it at the 48-yard line.
I think for the Jaguars, it's all about, you could hit some of those quick hitters here and there, but you've had a lot of success on the ground, and I don't expect them to kind of get away from that, although I wouldn't be surprised if they got Sullivan the football as well.
There goes Waylon up the middle. He picks up 9 on what might indeed be the final play of the quarter, depending what Coach Čerpák decides to do.
I think no reason to rush to the line here, and it looks like that is going to end the quarter.
So it'll be 2nd and 1 when we come back, but after one, it's Thomas Jefferson, 14, the Falcons, nothing, right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com.
Bring together expert faculty. Offer programs in high-demand fields. Add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Back here, 14-0 your score as it's 2nd down and 1. As Evans, quick out to his receiver as there goes Lowry inside the 30 as he gets down to the 26-yard line. Make that Sean Sullivan on the quick hitter for Thomas Jefferson as Evans. No problem moving the chains there, make it 1st and 10.
Yeah, really tough to see there, the distinction between the 1 and the 11, but
told you, these jerseys are an announcer's dream,
yeah.
Liam.
But regardless,
they look great up close, I'm not going to lie. But
regardless, a good play from Sullivan there. Getting him involved is always a good thing.
There's Waylon again on the carry out to the 21 as he nears the red zone. It's been a 1-2 punch with Lippincott and Waylon here tonight.
It's mostly been Waylon, but I think Lippincott has more yards just based on that 55-yard touchdown. If I do some quick
close.
Math here, it's pretty close, yeah.
Two receivers set near side. It's Salmon and Lowry. Sullivan ISO'd on the far side. I formation. Man in motion. As handoff to the big fullback, Janusek up the middle, and he's going to be a yard shy of the line to gain. So 3rd down and 1 upcoming here for the Jaguars. I formation again. Deep back, Whalen. It goes to Whalen up the middle, first down and more inside the 10, and some extracurriculars with Schultz on the outside as he comes together with Heller. Make it first down and goal now for the Jaguars. Ball lies on the Connellsville 10-yard line. Looking to go 3 for 3 offensively here this evening is Thomas Jefferson. Florian leads the troops to the line. I formation, twin receivers far side. Evans has a man, Mayer in motion, fakes the handoff. Bootleg roll out near side. Evans going for the end zone and a juggling circus catch. Touchdown, Thomas Jefferson. It's Jordan Mayer for 6. A 10-yard pitching catch and Jordan Mayer juggling it in the end zone.
Yeah, great grab there from Mayer. We saw one earlier where he kind of bobbled it a bit but still had it secure. That one a lot tougher. He made it tough on himself, but a really good grab and able to extend his team's lead. It's been all TJ here early on, exactly what you might expect.
As Andy Graham now 3 for 3, it's 21-0 in favor of the Jaguars. Twice on the ground, once through the air. As it was Whalen, then Lippincott, now Jordan Mayer joins the party as Thomas Jefferson once again finding the end zone. No trouble moving the football here this evening for the Jaguars. Again, starting yesterday in all technicality, but really getting into the thick of things tomorrow. WPIAL Fall Sports Playoffs underway. Thomas Jefferson boys here at home tomorrow as they start their playoff journey. Then the girls will take place in their first postseason game Monday at home as a number of Mon Valley schools will be starting their playoff journey next week. We'll have WPIO playoff coverage on the Trib Live High School Sports Network starting Monday, so make sure you stay tuned for that schedule. And I know someone we have on that schedule is the Lady Jaguars volleyball team who got the 4 seed. Saw them last evening as fielded at the 12-yard line was Barrett as Barrett spun down shy of the 25 at the 23-yard line. Speaking of the Lady Jaguars volleyball team, make sure you stay tuned at the half here on MVI Live. Planet Roof halftime interview with Thomas Jefferson star and IUP volleyball commit Delaney Concannon. So make sure you stay tuned for that coming up at the break here on MVI Live. And they will take place in their first postseason game either against the 13th or 20th seed on Wednesday. As under center, Piezecki, 2 receivers set. Piezecki looks to throw, quick out. There's Capone Mickens, and Mickens out towards the 30-yard line on first down. Gets to the 29, so we're looking at 2nd down and 4 for the Falcons.
Mickens has had all the success through the air from Piezecki, as it's really been a struggle for Connellsville, especially trying to take the top off and find something down the field. Just not enough time, so they've had to resort to these quick passes.
They'll try it again. This time it's batted down by the defensive line of the Jaguars as Cam Egerton getting a hand on it. 3rd down and 4 for the Falcons. Cam Egerton already has 1 INT on the season. He was looking for another. And that's been part of the problem, speaking of Cam Egerton. He hasn't played every game this season. That's been a big thing. Injuries for Thomas Jefferson as a handoff to Capone Mickens, and down he goes in the backfield. As firing him to the turf was John Janusek, the senior middle linebacker. So from 3rd and 4, make it 4th and 7.
Yeah, Mickens has 1 yard on the ground now after 2 negative gains. So nothing doing for Connellsville here. I feel like a broken record, but it's all about the front at the end of the day. TJ, all those guys getting home. They're not letting Connellsville get anything through the air, as you see a shank there.
As it luckily for the Falcons takes a bit of a Connellsville roll to the 40, but great starting field position for Thomas Jefferson, who's moved the ball at will, and they will look to go 4 for 4 so far on drives here this evening.
But you're right, going back to, we talked about TJ season. It's been a while, 2011, since they had 3 losses, but you look at the schedule that they've played. Tough loss in a rivalry game against Bell Vernon. Tough loss against a state champion in New Jersey. So apart from those 2 games, and you talk about all the injuries that they've sustained, this is still obviously a very, very good football team.
Looking deep, Sullivan got a touchdown, TJ! Brody Evans to Sean Sullivan. 1 play's all they need, 40 yards, pitch and catch. Evans to Sullivan, 4 for 4 go the Jaguars offensively.
Now it's just far too easy for Sullivan, receiver of his caliber. Great throw from Evans, and good job by Sullivan to get under that one and make not an easy grab, but one that you're going to want, and
He made it look easy.
he did. Yeah, so
As Andy Graham makes that look easy. 28-0 after the shank punt, a 40-yard, 1-play drive for the Thomas Jefferson offense. Quick strike offense hasn't been their motto necessarily throughout the course of history, but that drive just lasts 7 seconds. Enough time for Sean Sullivan to run under it and run into the end zone. All Jaguars here, 14 in the first, 14 so far in the second, and it's 28-0 Thomas Jefferson, as the Jaguars have had their way so far this evening. Another game to look at, Latrobe and McKeesport, 28-0. The Tigers taking care of business thus far, as McKeesport, no surprise, handling their own against the Wildcats from Latrobe. $28-0 Thomas Jefferson in the driver's seat, as they'll give the ball back to Connellsville. Up by 4 scores. Andy Graham, right foot to leather. This one driven deep back towards the 3. Picked up there on the near side by Barrett, right down the middle. Barrett over the 25, and he's tripped up at the 28-yard line. As 26 yards goes Talon Barrett. Second best starting field position this evening for Connellsville. We'll see Bell Vernon next week versus EF in a game that will, if things stay as is, a game for the Interstate Conference. 28-0, the Leopards dominating the Scotties from Southmoreland, who we saw a few weeks ago. As under center, Piasecki looks to throw, drops back, pressure coming, and down he goes again! Another sack for the Jaguar defense. As Piasecki at the 21 goes down, as once again wreaking havoc, it's the Power 5 commit Jordan Mayer. He has had himself an evening thus far. The number 24 player in the state, the commit to the Wisconsin Badgers, doing it all right now. 2nd and 17 after the sack. Piasecki drops, pressure coming again, and down he goes again! Who else but Jordan Mayer? Back-to-back sacks for the senior. Going to work today is Mayer. Jordan Mayer had 1 sack on the season. I think he might be up to 4 or 5 in this game. He's had a lot, at least the last 2, but this defensive line has been absolutely lethal tonight. Lippincott Florian, Kruger, Hutchinson, and Jordan Mayer. Mayer's not just been great defensively tonight either. He's been a big cog of the Jaguar offense. 3rd and 19. 2 receiver set. Piezecki handoff up the middle. Capone Mickens going nowhere. Picks up 2, making it 4th down and 17. Another 3-and-out forced by the Jaguar defense.
Yeah, you talk about dominant, and you talk about a Power 5 recruit. Well, Jordan Mayer's having his way with Connellsville here tonight, offensively, defensively, you name it, and he's dominating in this football game. He's been the best player on the field tonight.
As punting from the shadow of his own end zone is Zavanchin. As Zavanchin sends this one over the head of Sullivan, picks it up at the 30, make that Whalen. Whalen out to the 35 and wrestled out at the 36-yard line by Jake Sanzone.
It was a really good punt, especially with a low snap. So that kind of flips the field a little bit for Connellsville if you're trying to find some positives, because honestly there aren't a lot early on, or I guess almost at halftime now, 5:55 away in the second quarter. But on the other side of things, Thomas Jefferson, like we've been saying, kind of a tune-up for a Big 7 conference, a clincher potentially, or a big one at least, against McKeesport next week. And they look every part of what they usually do, a powerhouse here tonight. So we'll see if that can carry over, but right now, having success.
As dancing far side, the Jaguars, there they go. A nifty move breaking through as knocked down by Schultz. On the far side was Salmon. Salmon for Thomas Jefferson on the quick out. Goes for a huge gain into the red zone down to the 14. Jason Salmon, the junior. As at the 14-yard line, the Jaguars set up 1st and 10. Whalen the back, flanking Evans. Lowry in motion. Evans gets the snap. Handoff. Whalen up the middle. Breaks a tackle. Whalen inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. As Whalen makes it 1st and goal, Thomas Jefferson. .457 rolling first half clock. And again, coming up at the half, our halftime interview with Delaney Concannon of the Thomas Jefferson volleyball team. Again, they got the 4 seed inside of 3A. 1 is North Catholic, 2 Hampton, 3 Latrobe. And then TJ at 4, I formation. Under center, Evans, deep back, gets the ball. That's Whalen, spun down after a gain of 2 down to the 1. As Aiden Whalen and the Jaguars knocking on the doorstep once more.
So again, the Jaguars having all kinds of success offensively and defensively in this football game here, looking to jump out to a 35-0 lead with some time left in the first half.
I formation, deep back, gets the call, and Whalen in again. Touchdown TJ, as it's Aiden Whalen for the 2nd time of the game.
Yeah, 2nd time from punching it in from the 1-yard line, so couldn't really be easier for Whalen. He's done a really good job here tonight.
34-0 Thomas Jefferson. Graham stays true. The PAT is good. And it's 35-0 in favor of Thomas Jefferson with 3:48 remaining here in the half. Connellsville does not want to give TJ the ball back. They've had the ball 5 times. They've scored 5 touchdowns. As really, they don't need a lot of time the way they're moving the ball this evening. Big plays, a 55-yard run, a 40-yard touchdown pass, and you had that huge 49-yarder to Salzman setting things up there. It's Thomas Jefferson having a party here in Jefferson Hills on senior night, as they have absolutely been dominant all evening long. Andy Graham looks to send another one away, as this one out towards the 5, backpedaling to the 3 on the near side. That's McBride over the 20, scoots through and falls down to the 25-yard line, and that's where Connellsville will go back to work. And the question is, can Connellsville give time to their quarterback Piasecki? As the only offense has been quick pass, quick pass, quick passes. Basically, anytime Piasecki tries to hold more than 3 seconds, he's on the ground, met by one of the Jaguar front 4. Another Mon Valley game. Mapletown 14-12 over Monessen. If Monessen wins, they get the Tri-County South Championship as first man through. Capone Mickens stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained an inch on the play.
Yeah, just nothing doing for Connellsville on the ground, through the air. Like you said, no time for them to throw. It's been tough here tonight, and TJ, on the other hand, have really dominated and shown how good of a football team they are.
Another Mon Valley game, if those keeping track. 21-6 EF in the first quarter as Piasecki sacked again. The Jaguar defense. Another negative play as, again, it's Elias Lippincott. Thomas Jefferson. Sack after sack after sack, and it's 3rd and 18 with 2:40 remaining. 35-0. TJ will get the ball to start the half as well. I formation, Piasecki under center. Fakes the handoff, or does indeed hand it off to Giles, trying the trickery as it was a delayed carry by Giles, who gets over the 15 and out to the 17-yard line, as time will continue to wind down to 2:13 and rolling. 4th down and 17, another 3 and out. Thomas Jefferson, after those 2 drives with penalties, has really cleaned things up and have looked like a well-oiled machine going into that tune-up game, or using this as their tune-up game for the game with the Tigers next week.
Yeah, we talked about maybe those 2 timeouts that they had to burn coming back to haunt the Jaguars, but they have not needed anything of the sort, and now it looks like it's the Falcons that need a timeout. Not exactly sure why, but
I'm wondering if that's just kill as much clock as possible, as the play clock was starting to wind down there, and try to give TJ no time, but actually not enough on the field for Connellsville. And Piasecki, he's had kind of a rough go of it today, and the backup sophomore, Graydon Gillot, you wonder if they decide to turn to him in the second half. Nothing that Piasecki can do, and it's, again, he's had no room to throw. And when he's had some time, he's put some decent balls out in the air. A big 31-yard pass to Capone Mickens, but Piasecki just hasn't had time here in this one. And, if you're Connellsville, you have another game next week still against Laurel Highlands, and, you really, I think, don't want to get your junior quarterback hurt going into that last game, and you wonder, do they decide to go to the sophomore Graydon Gillot, who, coming into a freshman, said, as a freshman, the coaching staff last year said he was probably the hardest working kid in their program. Of course, again, his brother, a Division I pitcher, University of NC Upstate, got a privilege of watching Gage is over the head, and it's just kicked out of the end zone off the foot of Zavanchin for the safety.
Yeah, tough break there for Connellsville. We've seen some of those snaps rather, a little high, a little low here and there, and that one way over the head, and smart decision to end up eating it and take the safety, but obviously not what you want to see if you're the Falcons.
Yeah, not even close to being able to haul that one in for Benjamin Zavanchin. And next week, much tougher test for the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars against the McKeesport Tigers, who have had their way with the Latrobe Wildcats here this evening. But, we talked about, I was talking about Gelata. But, yeah, his brother, one of the best pitchers we've seen in the WPIO in recent years. Of course, we've had the likes of Evan Holowinski, Eric Chalice, both guys out of Bethel Park. But, Gage Gelata holds a special place in my heart, Liam. I had a baseball game I went to do. It was pouring down rain in Bethel Park. Knew it was going to get canceled. It got canceled. Moved to the next day. And I was announcing with my old college professor, Lanny Fateri, and he's like, hey, we're going to call Dawn. We're going to do the game Saturday. We did the game Saturday. It was under, I think, an hour and 10 minutes. Evan Holowinski and Gage Gelata are my two favorite pitchers because of that game. And, of course, Gage's younger brother, Graydon, the sophomore and the backup quarterback here, and why we were talking about that, as kick out of bounds on the near side. As they decide not to take the free kick, they let Zavanchin kick from the 20-yard line. And it looks like Thomas Jefferson's just going to take the yardage off the flag instead of a re-kick, which we've seen most teams take the re-kick this year.
We have.
I think this may be the first time out. I think we've seen about 5 balls out of bounds on the procedure violation on the kickoffs. This is the first time I think we've seen a team take the yards, and I'm not surprised from where that ball was kicked off from. So that means Thomas Jefferson's going to get outstanding field position at the Connellsville 45-yard line to start the drive. And that's because of it being off a safety and where that was kicked from. So that's why this comes all the way out to the Falcons' 45-yard line. 1:40 remaining. TJ, I formation once again. Man in motion. That's Sean Sullivan. He's went for 6 tonight. Pitch out. That's to Lippincott. Lippincott gets the boundary. Lippincott gets the edge. There he goes over the 20. Breaks a tackle and forced out there by Capone Mickens. As 2 carries, 2 huge runs for Lippincott from the 45 to the 19. 26 yards for Lippincott.
Yeah, he's got 81 yards on two rushes and a touchdown. So,
yeah, not a bad night in the office.
No.
He's went over 100 twice this season. Twin receivers near side, under center goes Evans. Evans, handoff to the deep back. Lippincott again over the 15 down to the 14-yard line. As inching closer and closer to the century mark with every carry is Elias Lippincott. TJ up 37-0 here on senior night in the first half. As it's 2nd and 4. TJ, in all honesty, has to run one more play, and they can take it to that if they so choose to. And being up 37-0, it will be a very quick-moving second half here on MVI Live in the network. As I formation again, Evans under center, so we'll see if we do get some reserves for Coach Cherpak in the second half. Evans, handoff, first man through, Janusek walks in from 14. The senior fullback gets into the act. And another Jaguar 6 on the board. As the senior fullback gets his 2nd score of the season.
Yeah, again, winning at the point of attack were the Jaguars. Janusek went about 10 or 15 yards untouched and then able to find his way into the end zone.
As Graham drills it again. Andy Graham stays perfect on PATs this season, and it's 44-0 in favor of the Jaguars from Thomas Jefferson. As we near the end of half number one, Thomas Jefferson, a 59-second drive. They've had drives of 52, 7, and now 59 seconds. And again, Thomas Jefferson not necessarily known as the quick strike offense, but they have absolutely made that the MO here tonight.
They sure have, and it's been really easy for the Jaguars here tonight. Connellsville really hasn't been able to provide any resistance. As Janusek, we've seen a few from Brody Evans to Sullivan and Mayer. We've seen Lippincott. We've seen Whalen. So
near side, as there's McBride over the 25 out to the 27-yard line. And we'll see, does Connellsville even decide to run a play besides a knee here? With 37 seconds remaining in the half. From their own 28-yard line, the Falcons, 37 seconds to work. Yeah, and coming up at the end of these 37 seconds, the Triple Live High School Sports Network halftime show, followed by the Planet Roof halftime interview with Delaney Concannon. Handoff up the middle for the Falcons as trying to spin forward for Connellsville to no avail was Gabriel Ruggieri. As the senior Ruggieri gets nothing, and 20 seconds remain here in the half. As Martinez the stop for the Jaguars. 12 on the clock as, again, we near the end of this one. At least the end of the half. So that will do it for half number one. It is all Thomas Jefferson, 44-0. They lead the Falcons from Connellsville. When we come back, it will be the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime interview, following it up with our Planet Roof halftime interview with the Jaguar senior outside hitter Delaney Concannon right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Week 8 edition of the halftime show here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, right smack dab in the middle of the stretch run of the 2022 regular season. More and more teams have clinched after week 7. More and more will be added to that list after week 8. We'll break it down as best as we possibly can as you enjoy, right before you enjoy the second half of the game you're checking out here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. No, that's not Chris Harlan. That is James Dotson. He is the Manny Mota of the network. Coming in, nobody gets that. That's under the age of 40, but that's okay.
Oh, why don't you call me Manny Diaz? I can be the closer here. How's that?
All right. Do we have to play that? Is he the one with that toe tap and music?
I can hear my nephew playing it in the background.
I love it. But anyway, let's get right to what we're here for, the playoff picture. 6A, big one going on tonight, Seneca Valley and Central Catholic. Big for both, really almost a must-win for Central Catholic. But Seneca Valley, if they were to fall tonight and to fall next week against North Allegheny, they could be on the outside looking in. So they, big game for them as well. North Allegheny, the only team in. I mean, this is 6A, like 5A and some of the other classifications. Great parity, and has been very, very competitive as well.
Yeah, it has. I mean, No, it's kind of interesting that, only 5 teams, yet so many different scenarios that can play out in these last 2 weeks, especially with Seneca Valley having conference games each of the last 2 weeks. But just will be really fun to see how this one plays out tonight with Peyton Wayner against Graham Haddix in that game between Central Catholic and Seneca Valley. But then, North Allegheny with Logan Kushner just shy of 1,000 yards as well, waiting. Which team I think is going to have the balance of running, though, into the postseason is what's going to be the biggest thing to watch out for. But you got to get there first.
Yep. Another big one going on as we move down to 5. Only one of 8 teams has secured a playoff berth in 5A coming into Week 8. That's Franklin Regional. Gateway can get in with a win. The big game in the Northeast Conference is Woodland Hills and Pine Richland. They are both 2-1, a half game behind front-running North Hills at 3-1. Penn Hills in that logjam as well at 2-1, taking on Shaler, which is sort of in desperation mode after losing a couple of conference games. So, and then in the Allegheny 6 Conference, Bethel Park, South Fayette, one of the bigger games going on tonight. But again, that's going to come down to Week 9, and really that Bethel Park Peters Township game's going to be pretty huge.
Could be a 2-way or even a possible 3-way tie for the chair of that Allegheny 6 Conference, Don. It's going to be fun to watch how that one plays out. Franklin Regional, the only team that's clinched, but they still need a win here tonight, or actually next week in Week 9 to get the outright Big East championship. They got 3 great athletes there, quarterback, running back, and wideout, and Sarnik, Benza, and Hudak that have been really, really strong for the Panthers. But the Northeast, I mean, we didn't really mention, how does Central Catholic push forward after that magical, crazy finish with the blocked field goal, offensive return for a touchdown? Was it past the line? Was it not? That could be something that can spur them the rest of the way, but it could also fuel Penn Hills, the losing team. And, I mean, you're just glad in the end that it was non-conference. It doesn't matter who makes it into the playoffs in the end. But, Penn Hills is going to finish at Woodland Hills. That could be a big game to keep them at the top with Julian Duggar and Amir Key with their combination. John and Julius George of North Hills still fighting for the top spot. And I give credit to Woodland Hills, a 3A school by numbers, but they stayed in 5A, and they've held themselves well. We'll see what happens tonight. Is going to play big into how their season ends. They could be at the top, or they could be fighting for even getting into the postseason.
Yeah, indeed. North Hills, Pine Richland, a big one next week. South Fayette, Upper St. Clair, also a big one next week in 5A. Let's go to 4A, Parkway Conference. 4 teams are in: Central Valley, Aliquippa, West Allegheny, Montour, Blackhawk. Probably only a matter of time before it could be tonight, before the Cougars secure the 5th playoff spot. The Parkway Conference gets 5. The Big 8 Conference gets 4. 3 have been clinched with McKeesport, Laurel Highlands, and Thomas Jefferson. Thought Latrobe was in. My blow. My bad. But they, in all likelihood, will be in. A lot of crazy stuff needs to happen to keep the Cats out of the postseason. And then the Greater Allegheny Conference going on tonight. The big one for first place, Armstrong taking on Highlands. Another big one going on tonight as far as that 3 teams battling for the final 2 playoff spots. Hampton taking on Mars. They're currently tied with North Catholic for 3rd place.
And then they play Highlands next week as well. So big stretch run here for Hampton. But yeah, that battle for first place in that Greater Allegheny Conference. Winner gets at least a share between Armstrong and Highlands. And, you keep hearing about Caden Olson. Get some love to Chandler Timmons, a good dual threat quarterback with 16 total touchdowns, and 2 others on that team with 10 total touchdowns. But you're looking at the Parkway, looking ahead to next week as well, where you're going to see Taquai Hayes, Brett Fitzsimmons, and Aliquippa versus Central Valley. Winner is going to be the number 1 seed. The question is, where will the loser of that game be? Will they be the 2? Will they be the 3? It's we'll have to look forward to that.
The 3A. Western Hills Conference. Avonworth is in. West Mifflin is in with a win over Hopewell tonight. South Park is in good shape. They have a non-conference game tonight. They could clinch depending on what happens elsewhere. Beaver also, if they could take care of business tonight at Quaker Valley, a big step toward him possibly clinching a playoff berth. Allegheny 6 Conference. Freeport is in. Shadyside Academy in. East Allegheny in with a win tonight. Deer Lakes in with a win tonight, or an East Allegheny win that would also clinch them a playoff berth. Interstate Conference, EF is in, Bell Vernon is in. Those two headed toward a showdown in Week 9. Southmoreland also back into the playoffs for the third time after a nasty 40-year drought ended in 2019. Mount Pleasant knocking on the door.
Yeah, but look at that Southmoreland Bell Vernon game tonight as being a big part for the seeding as well, Don. I think is going to be one to watch for. A tough finish with Bell Vernon, Southmoreland, and EF to finish. And give some love to the Scotties. How about Ty Kefner with 16 touchdowns and 58 receptions on the year? Great numbers there for the Southern Scotties. We'll talk about the Northern Scotties in a minute.
2A Allegheny Conference, Steel Valley is in, Sarah Catholic is in, Ligonier Valley is also in. 2 more spots still up for grabs. MAC Conference, Beaver Falls in, Neshannock in, Western Beaver in, looking like Riverside and Mohawk will claim the final 2 playoff berths. And Mohawk, that would just add to that great story. And in the Century Conference, Stowe Rocks, Washington in, McGuffey, Keystone Oaks on the brink. KO, if they could beat Washington tonight, clinches.
And then Washington hosts McGuffey next week, which will be big for that number 2 versus 3 spot potentially. Well, either way, no matter what. Steel Valley, Sarah Catholic, looking forward to that one in Week 9. How about the almost 2 quarterbacks now for Sarah Catholic approaching that 1,000 mark, passing the ball on the year. And in the MAC, you're going to have a big game between Beaver Falls and Western Beaver. If the Golden Beavers pull that one off, you have a 3-way tie for the top of the Midwestern Conference, and then you have fun trying to seed them as well. But just great battles, and this is going to be a deep, deep classification here in the playoffs.
Very quickly, Class A Big 7, Laurel, Southside, Union, all in. Eastern Conference, Greensburg Central, Leechburg, Clareton in. Black Hills Conference, Bishop Canevin, Burgettstown in. Osh close for Cherry, closing in also on a playoff berth. Mapletown in from the Tri-County South, playing Monessen tonight for the conference championship. Monessen, California, Carmichael's in pretty good shape down the stretch.
Southside Union is the big game tonight, Don. Winner of that one will have a home game in the playoffs. In Southside, they had Laurel last week, Union tonight, Rochester next week. Yeah. If they lose all 3, they could go from being, if they won all 3, they could have been a 1 or 2 seed. And if they end up losing these last 2, it could be all the way down to a 13, 14. Just craziness in that Big 7 conference.
Tip my cap, James Dotson doing a great job, as he always does, filling in for Chris Harlan here on this week 8 edition of the Halftime Show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, a third-generation family-owned and operated business since 1964. Whether you are looking to propose, promise, celebrate, or surprise, Marbills has the expertise, selection, and price to make your shopping experience relaxed and easy. Visit our showroom located at 112 Pricedale Road in Bell Vernon or call us at 724-929-6633. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, your journey, your jeweler. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Back here at the half on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Planet Roof halftime interview, and pleased to be joined by Delaney Concannon of the Jaguar volleyball team. Delaney, first off, really appreciate you doing this for me.
Thank you, yeah.
So, of course, you guys just ended your regular season, 13 straight wins, 42 straight set wins after a hard-fought loss to Hampton, which is a possible, in my opinion, 3A championship preview.
Yeah.
How has this season as a whole been for you, that you kind of after that early season loss, you guys were able to win 14 straight games and not lose another set?
Yeah, I mean, this team is great, especially all 6 seniors. I mean, most of us have been starting varsity for 2-3 years now, and so I think that the loss in the beginning of the season really pushed us to work for the playoffs this year and win every section set, which was pretty great of us to do.
So obviously, maybe not everybody knows this, but last year, obviously not the season you guys wanted. You went in as the 2 seed. You went out to Plum early on in the quarterfinals. How has that experience prepared you for coming into this postseason? That it's okay. We've been there. We've been highly ranked. We've been all the pressure on us, and we didn't achieve. So how do you take what you've learned from that and build upon it so you can be successful this season?
Yeah, I mean, our practices now, we're really focused. We're really trying to get past that quarterfinals that we lost in last year. It was a hard loss, and I mean, we bring it up every day, so and we all feel it. Like, we're all really frustrated with how last year ended, and we're trying not to make the same mistake again, and I really think that we have a great shot this year.
So obviously, after this year, you will not be done going to play volleyball at IUP.
Yep.
So how was that process, the whole recruiting process for you, and what made you eventually land on going to IUP?
Yeah, I mean, this summer for me was filled with going to college camps. I mean, recruiting. We made videos of my volleyball club tournaments this past summer, and I really loved IUP's campus, the coaches, the team. That's what really made it for me. It was my best choice, So
obviously, before high school, before committing to IUP, you had to get your start somewhere. How did you get your start into the sport of volleyball?
Yeah, I mean, 7th grade, it was a new sport at TJ, and all the girls tried out for it. I think we had 40 girls come out for the 7th grade team, and just then, it was all my best friends on the team in 7th grade, and since then, I've loved the sport, and I've started playing club going into 8th grade, and just, yeah, started to love the sport.
So what about volleyball the most? It's what you wanted to do. Obviously, you're a multi-sport athlete, but what is it about volleyball that it's your go-to sport, that it was the one you knew you wanted to continue on doing?
I think it's just the competitiveness of the game. I mean, I love being a competitor, and being with my best friends on the court makes it so much fun. I love it.
So, obviously, as we just said, not only volleyball, how do those other sports help you throughout the course of, being a volleyball player and, vice versa, volleyball with your other sports you play?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I played softball and I was a pitcher, so I feel like that really helped with my arm. And I played basketball for most of my life, and that just kept me in shape, and that's also competitive, so I think that's what really drove me towards volleyball.
So, obviously, it's a tough road come playoff time, but and to be honest, when you look at it, 3A probably one of the more competitive brackets. Obviously, in 4A, everyone knows North Allegheny, Shaler, they're going to be there. But inside of your bracket, you have 4 teams in the top 5 of the state. Mm-hmm. Then you have Moon, you have Mars. So how does a competitive bracket like this, kind of help you guys and, get you excited about the playoffs, but what are the challenges of having that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's honestly 8 teams that could probably win the Whippeal this year, depending on the day. And I think that we're one of the most focused and determined teams to win the Whippeal, and I think that our chemistry within the team, we're all best friends, will really help us out when we get into those close games.
Yeah, so one thing, I've seen a lot of volleyball over my last few years of life, which I'm glad to be able to do that. But one thing I've seen a lot of is, a lot of teams that kind of just aren't on the same page. They don't jive all the time. But it seems like your group, there's something special about it that, you're always on the same page. You're always, have each other's back. Mm-hmm. And you kind of, nothing seems to phase you guys. What about this team makes it such a successful team and that makes you guys click?
Yeah, I mean, we're all really good friends outside of volleyball, and I think that helps. I mean, some teams might see that as a negative, but honestly, I see that as a positive because we're cool with having each other's backs, and if somebody's down, we can easily pick them up. There's so many of us that are friends that if one person's down, there's 5 of friends who can come and help them out.
So I got 2 more questions for you. Right. So obviously, now you're done with the regular season. By the time everyone's watching this tomorrow night at the football game, which is right now for you watching, you guys are going to know where you're seated, who you're playing, what the path looks like. But no matter what happens there and what happens throughout the rest of the course of your senior, what are you hoping to get out, not just of volleyball, but out of your rest of your final year of high school?
I mean, I'm really just looking for some good times with my friends and living the best senior year that we can and holding it while it lasts, because I know it's going to go by fast the rest of the year, especially without volleyball and being with them every day. So.
You'll be like me, 7 years removed from school before you know it. It goes by like that. You never know what's going to happen. Next thing you know, it's gone. So that's a great option, and I think that's a great way to look at it. But final question for her, which is kind of a multi-part question. I end every interview this way. It started because I wanted to take a poll, and this was my only way to pull other people that played sports. But last thing you hear, and it's big with volleyball, and I would say this is one of the biggest things because you're lined up on the service lines when the national anthem plays, and most girls, or at least most volleyball teams I've seen, it's always that timed arm swing, and I know you guys do it as well.
Yeah, we do.
But so, one, is the national anthem a pump-up song? And two, does it qualify as one of the best of all time, and kind of what goes through your head during that last moment when you're hearing that before you start to play?
Right. I mean, I never thought of it as a pump-up song.
Bit of a loaded question, I know.
But, I mean, yeah, I guess you could consider it a pump-up song, last song that plays before we go out and play. But, I mean, in that moment, I'm really just trying to calm myself down and make sure I'm not shaking, my hands are fine, and just tell myself that we got this, and yeah, just push through the game. Yeah.
All right, Delaney, thank you again so much, and good luck. Can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll be able to cover you a little bit in the playoffs. I know that is the plan as of now. Obviously, stay tuned, and we'll let you know where we'll be, what we'll be covering. But, again, thank you very much for doing this.
Me.
Yeah, absolutely. Delaney Concannon, not just one of the best in 3A, but one of the best in the WPIAL. We come back. We'll have the second half of the Falcons and the Jaguars right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs, because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Make Dogs Sports Bar and Grill your place to watch football this season. We have the Mon Valley's best seats in the house. 9 10-foot big screen TVs, wing specials every Sunday noon to 4 p.m., pizza and flatbread specials all day Saturday for college game day, Monday night football burger specials, and you can watch all the Thursday night NFL games here at Dogs in the Walmart Lowe's Plaza in Belle Vernon. Back here at the half, 44-0 Thomas Jefferson on top of the Connellsville Falcons, as finishing out the final home show for this senior class here at Thomas Jefferson, as the senior marching band members were serenaded by their underclassmen with the TJ Alma Mater. And again, a big thank you and shout out to Delaney Concannon for our halftime interview here on MVI Live. And of course, good luck to her, Coach Ron Kelly, and the entire Jaguar volleyball team in the WPIAL 3A postseason. The plan again is to have them on Wednesday evening with their first matchup versus either number 13 or number 20, depending on the Monday night results. So wait to see what all our local Mon Valley teams do inside the WPIAL postseason. Thomas Jefferson had a total of 6 drives, scored 6 times. 2 14-yard passes to Jordan Mayer, then a 14-yard run by Waylon. Set up Waylon's 26-yard carry to the 1-yard line. He punched it in, making it 7-0. On the ensuing drive, it was Evans to Mayer for 16, and then Elias Lippincott on his first carry of the game would go 55 yards to the house. As Thomas Jefferson would get the ball back, they'd score again. It was Evans to Mayer through the air for the first time, 21-0. And after a shanked punt 40 yards on one play, Evans to Sullivan through the air, his second passing touchdown of the game. And then a 49-yard Evans to Salmon pass set up the 1-yard Wayland touchdown run, making it 35-0. And after that, on the ensuing drive, a 3-and-out forced by Thomas Jefferson. High snap resulted in a safety, and then Thomas Jefferson would go 59 seconds. A 26-yard Lippincott run set up a 14-yard Janusek touchdown, and that made it 44-0 at the break here on MVI Live in the Trib Live High School Sports Network. 6 sacks for the Thomas Jefferson defense, 3 by Jordan Mayer, the Wisconsin commit. Mayer also 4 receptions for 54 yards and a score. After one half of play, 44-0 TJ over Connellsville. When we come back, we'll have half number 2 for you right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Bring together expert faculty. Offer programs in high-demand fields. Add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. G-Force Athletic Club, free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Back here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. As you might have heard me talking before getting back on the air, one of our local Mon Valley teams, and of course a team that these two teams are familiar with, Laurel Highlands and Ringgold. 10-7, the Mustangs clinging to a 3-point lead at the half. Some other big scores, Thomas Jefferson 44-0, but the Elizabeth Ford Warriors dominating at the break, 42-13 over Greensburg-Salem. Last checked, it was 28-0 in favor of the Bell Vernon Leopards. McKeesport up 42-0 on Latrobe, 35-0 Bell Vernon at the half, and Mapletown on top of Monessen 14-12 in a battle for the Tri-County South Championship. As again, we will get underway with WPIAL playoffs on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network, as our playoff games, as they were for basketball, as they were for baseball and softball. You know the drill. They will be streamed exclusively on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, so make sure you follow our social media accounts, follow our personal accounts, and you'll know where we're at and what we're doing and what games we will be covering. Again, the streaming schedule coming together for next week. Just some teasers. I know we will be at Fraser to watch the number 2 seeded Commodores on Tuesday take on Trinity Christian, and we will be at TJ on Wednesday for volleyball. And again, stay tuned for the rest of the week of what we're doing and where we are going to be as we get set for the second half here this evening. 44-0. The Jaguars lead the Falcons. It's going to be a running clock throughout. See if we get some reserves for Coach Bill Cherpak here in the early going of half 2. As this one sent away, near side fielded by the Jaguars over the 20, breaks a tackle there, and here come the Jaguars up the near side. Sullivan breaks a tackle at midfield. There goes Sean Sullivan. He starts the second half with a bang. No flags. Touchdown, TJ Sean Sullivan to the house.
Yeah, what a way for the Jaguars to start the half.
Something about us in long kick returns here at TJ. This one, 97 yards, Sean Sullivan. His second score of the night. As Andy Graham once again. $51-0 Jaguars. Thomas Jefferson putting out their highest point total of the season here tonight with 51 points. Previous high was 45 against Trinity back on the 7th. They scored 44 last week. So right now in the last 6 quarters and some quick math here, 19 seconds, Thomas Jefferson has scored 93 points while giving up 0 points in the last 6 quarters and 19 seconds. Offense rolling at the right time going into that big matchup next week. As Andy Graham gets set to send this one away. Sean Sullivan, his second score of the evening. Once from 40 yards out on the pass by Evans, once from 97. As Andy Graham near side, short kick, and stumbling down to make the grab at the 18-yard line was Barrett. Ball will lie on the Falcon 18-yard line. Clock moving. It's not going to stop. Besides for, a few reasons here or there, but mercy roll is in full effect here this evening. As handoff, first man through as the Thomas Jefferson defense quickly collapses on the interior of that line as it was Capone Mickens going nowhere. Gain of 2 on the play. Time continues to tick. Piasecki leads the troops to the line. 1 receiver far side, 1 near side. As Wilson on the far side, man in motion, pitch that way. It's McBride over the 20, breaks the tackle, and there goes almost the entire TJ defense. 8 of the 11 on the stop of McBride. Gavin Miller in on the stop for the Jaguars, as we do indeed see a number of reserves out there for Thomas Jefferson, including Daniel Carroll, McBride, along with JoJo Gratson.
Good opportunity for these Jaguars, these younger players that are going to be the kind of the next generation, the next important classes of players to get some experience here in a conference matchup. So
on 3rd down and 3, it's going to be Ruggieri picking up the first down, just getting enough. And I don't think there is one Jaguar starter out there on this defensive side of the football. Trying to do some quick scanning for TJ's defense. As Piasecki looks to air it out over the top. McBride, does he get it? He does! Jaden McBride into Jaguar real estate down to the 46. Oh, fantastic grab there.
Perfect throw as well from Piasecki. We talked about him not having any time to throw, but that was a perfect throw. Really put it where, only his receiver could go grab it, and there good job from them. Able to connect for a long play.
Pitch out, there's Mickens, cuts to the middle, and he's slammed down by the Jaguar defense after a gain of 1 to the 45-yard line. Time continues to burn away. 51-0 Thomas Jefferson. Sean Sullivan took the opening half kickoff, 97 yards to the house. Under center, Izaki sends Mickens in motion, fakes the pitch, and second man coming through gets the ball as he'll be stopped short of the 40 at the 41-yard line. That's McBride once again. Third down and 5. Clock ticks under 7:20. Far side. That's Barrett. As Piasecki, play action into the flat. Capone Mickens drops it, and it's an incomplete pass on the near sideline. Would have been well short of the line to gain either way, as it's going to be 4th and 5 with 6:55 in a rolling third quarter clock.
Yeah, tough there because it looked like Connellsville may have had a chance to try and do something on that after the catch, but not able to haul it in was Mickens. So now we'll see what the Falcons do here.
51-0 TJ leads. 6:30 rolling clock, 10 on the play clock. Connellsville might have to burn a timeout if they don't hurry. Break the huddle with 5 now. Piasecki in the gun, and they are indeed, now they're going to reset as whistle blows, as the back judge was trying to reset the play clock, so the clock will stop here. And actually, they're going to give Connellsville a timeout here, but you know, you could see the back judge trying to say reset that play clock back to 25. Never got to that point. And with 6:16 remaining in the half, it's 51-0 Thomas Jefferson. It'll be 4th down and 5 for the Connellsville Falcons.
So if you're the Jaguars, obviously we've already said it, mostly reserves in the game now, getting good experience. But this performance, an emphatic conference performance against a team like Connellsville, who, again, we've talked about it, the rough couple of years, but they're having their best season in quite some time. This is really big, I think, for the Jaguars at a great time of year, really. You know, this is when they want to start firing on all cylinders. This is when they expect to make deep runs. Right now, they look fantastic tonight.
Piasecki going up top, and jump ball incomplete, as Piasecki on the far side was trying to find his man. That was Major Stash.
Fantastic coverage out there. You know, nothing doing all night for Connellsville, and that's not going to change here late in this one, as now they give the ball back to the Jaguars. Clock's running over there at just over 5:30 remaining in this third quarter, and it's just a matter of time before the Jaguars put the finishing touches on this victory.
See who Thomas Jefferson decides to bring in reserve-wise, as we do have a new signal caller in there. Whole new front, as handoff near side, and going nowhere is the TJ tailback, as that's Heller on the carry. As now in at quarterback is Cooper Cambaris, the 6'4", 195 sophomore. Of course, Luke Costco, the 6'4" sophomore, many thought he was going to be the starter coming into this season, transferring back in from Seton LaSalle, was deemed ineligible this season, and Brody Evans inherited the helm, and he's done very well this year. Again, over 1,500 yards passing as a pitch goes to Heller. Far side, Heller over the 40 as he knifes his way down towards the 45-yard line as he's back past the initial line of scrimmage. Falcons one stop away here, a 3rd and 8 away from basically getting their first stop against this TJ offense this evening.
You're right about that. And at this point, I think for the Falcons, you take the little victories, and defensively, if you're able to stand up to TJ here, you know, it'd be a good thing. You get the ball back, and you get to go through another drive, try and figure things out offensively against a defense that you've clearly had a lot of trouble with here tonight.
Hand off, first man through, and he's stuffed in the backfield as it looks like it was Dom Dontelli.
So one thing you have to appreciate about Connellsville here tonight, clearly no quit. And that's something that obviously it can be hard when you're down like this, a huge deficit in a conference game. It can be demoralizing, especially if you think back to the last couple of years for this team. But at the same time, this fight and kind of the effort that you're seeing from the Falcons has to be commended. And at the end of the day, all they can do is keep fighting and see what happens.
Punt takes a roll in favor of the Jaguars off the foot of Andy Graham as we near the end of the third quarter, and of course gives us a chance to remind you that stay tuned for the Highway Appliance Furniture and Mattress Player of the Game. Couple good candidates on tap, and a couple touchdowns for Whalen, touchdown for Mayers, couple trio of sacks for him. Of course, we've seen what Sullivan's done tonight as Piezecki in the gun gets the snap. Piezecki, quick out route, far side, McBride, foot in the ground, makes a man miss. McBride pushes forward to the 35.
Yeah, right away, talking about the player of the game, I want to lean Mayer. I mean, now Sullivan has 2 touchdowns. Whalen's had 2 touchdowns. I think it's reaching to hat, write the names down, and we'll see what we get. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just, you love to have that issue because that means you got a lot of Mon Valley kids performing at a high level this evening. As Piezecki looks to pass, pressure coming from behind, dumps it down. Capone Mickens stretches out to pick up the first down. As Mickens outstretched that right arm, the one with the white glove, not the orange one. 2 color gloves on the hands of Capone Mickens, kind of like a man reaching for a pylon.
Yeah, he's done a good job tonight. He's been, apart from McBride, the only receiver that Piezecki's been able to find. So now at 52 receiving yards.
Looking for McBride. McBride to the 40, knocked down there before any yards after the catch as he gets to the 39-yard line. The Thomas Jefferson defense not allowing any yards after the catch there. As it's the senior Carroll on the stop. Dan Carroll, 6 foot, 190. Second down and about 7. Ball lies on the Falcon 30 or 41-yard line. Piezecki in the gun. 2 receivers each side. Gets the snap. Pressure coming off the edge. Goes up top and overthrows a diving Jaden McBride as he was looking to spring the 6 foot, 148 junior. On what may indeed be the final play of the quarter. 25 on the game clock. 30 on the play clock. As with 18 coming back out is Piezecki, now down to 12. Looks like we will indeed get one final snap off. Piezecki, handoff up the middle. The Jaguar defense collapses after a pickup of 3, as that was by Ruggieri. And that will do it for quarter number 3. And after 3, it's Thomas Jefferson 51, The Falcons nothing right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. G-Force Athletic Club free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Back here as we get set to start the fourth quarter. As we are underway, up the middle, the carry goes. And on 4th down and 3, it looks like the Falcons may indeed have converted. As Graham with the stop, and it's going to be just enough for the first down out to the 48-yard line. As Piasecki looks to throw, now pulls it down, rolls out, pressure coming, and he's brought down from behind. The 7th Jaguars sack of the evening, and it's the senior Andy Graham. As Piasecki holding that right arm coming out on the near side, so he will indeed see the sophomore Graydon Jalot. And Jalot was competing for the starting quarterback job as a freshman last year for Connellsville. Very athletic family as the 5'6", 155 sophomore checks in. I mentioned about what his brother did as a pitcher for the Connellsville Falcons. As first snap, Jalot looks to throw. Pressure coming, Jalot rolls out, escapes. Jalot looking downfield, now tucks it in, and he's sacked again. This time, the Jaguars off the edge. It's Brian Verbanek.
Yeah, it's been a sack party in the backfield, whatever you want to call it, for the Jaguars here tonight. 8th sack of the game. You have a new quarterback in now for Connellsville. He's already been sacked, so really doing a good job. That's something that they've always preached, offensive, defensive line play, and it's showing here tonight.
Jalot handoff up the middle. Ruggieri breaks the tackle up over midfield to the 49-yard line. So it will be 4th down and a long 7 as Ruggieri was able to break a tackle. But to my calculations from the stats I have, I had a sack for Kruger, a sack for Hutchinson, 2 for Florian, and 1 for Mayer coming in. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 for Cam Egerton. So they have more sacks tonight than they've had all season combined. So that's impressive the way this defense has got to the quarterback. TFL after TFL, fumbled snap. Jalot picks it up, and down he goes again. There's number 9. As Verbanek was the man to finish off Jalot after the low snap. So a turnover on downs with under 9 to play. .8:30 remaining here in the half. Or in the contest, I should say. TJ gets the ball at the Falcon 48. High formation, pitch to the deep back. as Heller over midfield. Heller to the 45, working down towards the 40 as Heller stopped there. And it's going to be 2nd down and 3 for Thomas Jefferson. As Bryce Heller, the senior running back, has got the majority, I think almost every single touch besides one this half offensively. Cooper Camberis under center, I formation. Heller dotting it again. Fumbled snack. Handoff. There's Heller. Heller 1st down and more. Past the 40, down towards the 35. He stopped a yard shy of that at the 36-yard line. Again, coming up next week, final night of the regular season in the WPIAL. As we near playoff time for Friday Night Lights, we'll have a battle for the 3A Interstate Conference here on MVI Live between the Leopards and the Warriors from Elizabeth Forward High School. Of course, a huge game that you can follow on the Trib Live High School Sports Network next week between McKeesport and the Jaguars. I formation under center. Hambaris. Gets the snap, hand off to the up man and going nowhere. As stopped for a loss was Thomas Jefferson's Zachary Villa, as the freshman couldn't get anything going. 2nd and 10, clock continues to tick away, time continues to burn on the Falcons.
Obviously, TJ in no rush now. Letting the play clock dwindle, letting the game clock dwindle, as they're in control of this one.
Pitch near side, it's Heller again. Heller down to the 31-yard line as the 2nd down carry picks up 4. 54-14, McKeesport on top of the Latrobe Wildcats. Expected Latrobe, they are the number 4 team in the Big 7 Conference to put up a bit of a fight. Connellsville, the number 5 team in the Big 7. TJ, of course, the number 3, depending what happens with that Ringgold game. And if Ringgold ends up beating Laurel Highlands, that takes the chance of the multi-trio conference champions out of the realm of things. As pitch to Heller again on 3rd down, and Heller runs through. And there goes the senior, Heller for 6. As Bryce Heller from 32 yards out, the senior tailback, who waits in the wings behind Whalen and Lippincott, gets rewarded on senior night.
Yeah, it's a great job from Heller. As he's able to, like you said, punch that in on senior night. It's been all TJ all night, now no different.
As Bryce Heller able to take care of business there. Part of the reason, you love to, not necessarily that you love seeing these type of games, but on senior night, when you have such a talented group of individuals at Thomas Jefferson, a lot of the time some of the senior players don't really get to see the field, so kind of cool that we've got to see a number of other seniors get into the act today, including Bryce Heller there as the senior running back who's really got a bunch of carries in this second half, was able to be rewarded with 6 points. As Andy Graham, another senior, normally primarily only kicking duties, has a sack tonight as well, one of the 9 TJ sacks. As this one's not Graham, as it's booted far side on the short kick. And it looks like the Jaguars, and they do indeed have it, off the kick by James Hossman.
I think it may have been, and I couldn't quite tell. It looked like Graham may have been the one kind of shaken up on the point after he knocked it through. So maybe something to monitor for the Jaguars.
4:40 remaining here in this one. TJ has the ball once again. So 1st and 10, TJ. Ball lies on what will be the 37-yard line of the Falcons. Laurel Highlands breaking things open, so 24-7 the Mustangs lead the Rams. So it makes that game, again, still just as important for Thomas Jefferson next week. Win for another section title. Thomas Jefferson, of course, they were dethroned from their section title run last year, but that was at the hands of Bell Vernon. First down pickup went for 4. Clock continues to run here in this one. TJ in no hurry. More bodies rotating in and out for the Jaguars. This time beginning to tick under 3. I formation, a couple more snaps is all the Jaguars need. Carry up the middle, going nowhere. As off the edge for the Connellsville Falcons. On the stop for a loss is Gage Johnson, the senior. Mel Vernon, 48-0 over Southmoreland. As that was Villa once again getting the call. 3rd down and 6. Thomas Jefferson, after losing back-to-back games, on the verge of winning their 3rd straight. Second 3-game winning streak of the season for Thomas Jefferson this year. 3rd and 6, 2:12 remaining. Handoff again. Up the middle goes the senior Heller. And Heller's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line. There's a full-sail offensive line substitution for Thomas Jefferson. Almost like a hockey change there with the O-line.
Sure did. It looked like a few guys trying to get over the boards, but regardless, under 2 minutes now. TJ just, again, putting the finishing touches on an emphatic victory here on senior night. Everything went their way. Fantastic performance. On the other hand, Connellsville, one that they'll want to forget, obviously.
As TJ most likely and will indeed burn a timeout here or take a delay game penalty. Wait to see what they did indeed decide to do there as they let the play clock go all the way down to 0. And again, they're subbing basically 11 for 11, and they will just take the delay a game penalty here. That momentarily stopped the clock. As another new quarterback, Joe Mendick in there under center, so hand it off. And the reason that was so important, what TJ did, Mendick the junior, he is a wide receiver by trade. He has been injured the majority of the season. Really, he was injured before the Bell Vernon game. We haven't got to see him, so Coach Cherpek putting Mendick in there, let him take a snap under center. You could tell he was kind of still hobbled up there as it's a turnover on downs. Does not matter, though. This game has been over for a long time. TJ 20 seconds away, maybe one Falcon play, as Connellsville does break the huddle with 15. High formation. Handoff up the gut as handing it off was Landon Prinkley for a gain of 3, and that will do it. TJ 58-0 on senior night. And that will lead them into the huge showdown for the Big 7 Conference. Next Friday night from McKeesport. TJ, they've done what they've had to do after the miscues this season. And the dress rehearsal after the first 2 drives, they lived up to it. They look ready for the big show next Friday night, Liam.
They sure do, and I don't think we've really seen this from them all season. You know, going back to earlier in the year, we've talked about it a few times already, 3 losses, which is unheard of for this Thomas Jefferson program. Even a few games that I saw them earlier in the year, particularly against my alma mater in Baldwin, I didn't really think that they looked as impressive as I might have expected against what I would consider usually an inferior opponent. But at the end of the day, what you saw here tonight is quintessential from TJ. This time of the year, they're really clicking. This is when they know, all good programs do. This is when things really matter. 3 losses, whatever. Like you said, you get into the playoffs, it's win or go home. And this is the time of year. The weather's getting a little colder. They're ready to hit. They're ready to go. They're fired up. And what you saw tonight was a classic win. Just fantastic performance, top to bottom. We talked about it early on, some penalties here and there, but those were cleaned up. Really nothing negative to take away from this one if you're TJ.
Yeah, TJ had 2 penalties on the first 2 possessions of the game. I think they had 3 penalties all game total. And it was on a punt return was the other one. Connellsville, they played a very clean game. I believe there was no penalties against the Falcons here tonight, if I am not mistaken. So TJ cleaned it up. They passed the eye test, the defense. And that's the big thing here, that the defensive line, the push they got, yes, you expected them to do that tonight, but your defensive line is probably the most confident they've been all year, and they are going to face the wing T triple option next week, and you have a confident front 4 and a confident group of linebackers that you can win the battle up front every single time. That is a good sign if you are Thomas Jefferson going into a Mon Valley showdown next week. 2 Mon Valley battles for section championships, 1 in 4A, 1 in 3A coming up next week. We're going to take a break, come back, recap this one, and send you on your way, of course, after we give you your Highway Appliance Furniture and Mattress Player of the Game here on MVI Live. Your final score, TJ 58, the Falcons nothing, as Thomas Jefferson wins their 3rd straight the season. Planet Roof, Pittsburgh's top roofing company, goes above and beyond to give customers the best experience possible. At Planet Roof, we pay close attention to the quality of our work in your home. Our roofers are committed professionals with years of experience who will go above and beyond for all of our clients' needs. Because at Planet Roof, we love what we do. For more information, contact us today at 724-243-3297 or visit our website, planetroof.com. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, a 3rd-generation family-owned and operated business since 1964. Whether you are looking to propose, promise, celebrate, or surprise, Marbills has the expertise, selection, and price to make your shopping experience relaxed and easy. Visit our showroom located at 112 Pricedale Road in Bell Vernon or call us at 724-929-6633. Marble Diamonds and Jewelry, your journey, your jeweler. G-Force Athletic Club, free after-school youth boxing program for ages 10 to 18, located at 338 Fallowfield Avenue in Charleroi. G-Force's certified USA boxing coaches provide training in amateur boxing, running, and weight training. G-Force also provide a positive environment and Christian mentoring for our rising generations. For more information, call 202-262-0584. Make Dogs Sports Bar and Grill your place to watch football this season. We have the Mon Valley's best seats in the house. 9 10-foot big screen TVs, wing specials every Sunday noon to 4 p.m., pizza and flatbread specials all day Saturday for college game day, Monday night football burger specials, and you can watch all the Thursday night NFL games here at Dogs in the Walmart Lowe's Plaza in Belle Vernon.
Bring together expert faculty, offer programs in high-demand fields, add in a few centuries of tradition. You might call it the future of higher education. We're calling it Pennsylvania Western University. We've combined the resources of California, Clarion, and Edinburgh to create a new way to educate, where opportunities are boundless and tomorrow is yours to define. Built on tradition, built for your future. Welcome to Penn West.
Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. The right brands, price, and advice since 1946. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress is the Mon Valley's choice for selection, service, and savings for over 75 years. Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress. You're going to like us a lot. We guarantee it. Back here from Thomas Jefferson High School, your final score, TJ 58, Connellsville nothing. They got off and running early, and the Jaguars did not look back. They scored on all but 2 possessions. One of those possessions ended the contest after Connellsville was able to get a first down thanks to a TJ penalty on the first drive. They would punt it away to the Jaguars, and Thomas Jefferson 2 14-yard receptions to Jordan Mayer, a 14-yard run by Whalen, leading to a 26-yard run by Whalen. He would punch it in from 1 yard out to make it 7-0. Thomas Jefferson would get it back after Connellsville looked like they might have had something going. A 31-yard Piasecki pass play to Capone Mickens, but 3 straight negative plays, minus 14 yards by the TJ defense, would lead to another touchdown, 55 yards on the first carry of the night for Elias Lippincott to the house, 14-0. Then TJ on the board once more through the air. It was Evans to Jordan Mayer, who had a big night on both sides of the ball, and Thomas Jefferson, they would strike again and again. Sullivan from 40 yards out from Evans, 49 yards. Evans to Salmon, setting up the 1 yard Whalen touchdown after a safety. Thomas Jefferson would score one more time in the half. It was Janusek from 14 yards out as the fullback was able to punch it in the first half. Mayer, 4 receptions, 54 yards, and a touchdown along with 3 sacks. 6 first-half sacks for Thomas Jefferson. The Jaguars 2 more touchdowns in the game as a 97-yard kickoff return by Sean Sullivan got the half started. Bryce Heller, the reserve on senior night, would cap out the scoring, making it 58-0. Thomas Jefferson would end the game with 9 total sacks. They had more sacks tonight than they had all season coming into the contest this year as Thomas Jefferson passed the eye test as the dress rehearsal was complete. Next week, it's a battle for the Big 7 Conference Championship from McKeesport between the Jaguars and the Tigers, as that will be an absolute showdown. Again, next week we will be at Elizabeth Ford in a battle for the 3A Interstate Conference Championship between Belle Vernon and Elizabeth Ford. Of course, next week playoffs coming in as well, so make sure you stay tuned and see what playoff games we will be covering here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Thomas Jefferson 58-0 victorious here this evening. Time for your Highway Appliance, Furniture, and Mattress Player of the Game on MVI Live, as it is the 3-star Wisconsin commit Jordan Mayer taking home the honors. 4 receptions, 54 yards, a touchdown, and 3 sacks as Thomas Jefferson made a living in the Falcon backfield this evening. On behalf of Liam Bellin, I'm Alex Lyon saying thanks for tuning in to the penultimate Friday night of the regular season. We'll see you next week for more high school sports action right here on MVI Live and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. But until then, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on MVI Live.